friend. Hey!
Hello and welcome to race recap for Iron Legs Ultra. This race held in Kananaskis, Alberta. I think it's a great race if you are just thinking and getting that bug of maybe pushing yourself a little bit more. Iron Legs is held in August and it offers 4 distances: 60k, 50 mile, 100k, and 25k. 25k it starts at night, so I'm not going to talk about that one. The 60k it starts with the 50 mile and the 100k. The 60k is dog friendly, so if you have your dog who you are like used to run with, or maybe you can like have somebody bring him with you for some portions and then like pick him up, that's a great option. I actually saw a dog. The 50 mile you can do it solo, as a duo, or with 3 people as a 3-people relay. And then the 100k, there's no relays. It follows the same course as the 50 mile, except for the sections where they go out and do the different loop for the extra distance. Now, if you don't mind, Lolita decided to join for her nap right here, so that's a beige thing you will see. She didn't run the 60k. Okay, to race recap, as I said, this is in Kananaskis. This is just west of Calgary. If you're local to Calgary, it'll be like a 45-ish minute drive for you. You're pretty familiar where it is. If you're not, you can camp. There's campgrounds around. They also offer limited camping spots at the Paddy's Flats, which is the start line, so that's really convenient for anyone. Race starts at 6 in the morning. This is early August in Alberta, so temperatures will be cool, which is ideal for running. This year we started at 12-13 degrees and the highest it went through the day is 25. Note on that, I think we were lucky this year with that. It can be hotter, but still in the evening it's gonna cool down. That time of the year in the mountains in Alberta, temperature is really nice. Okay, so I said that this race is perfect if you're getting like that bug of maybe like challenging yourself, doing like a longer distance, something outside your comfort zone. Why? First, pacers are actually encouraged, they're welcome. Just make sure they actually have a beep, they have to sign and have a beep. This is just for safety reasons of everyone. Second of all, and I think most important, this race allows you to drop down your distance during the race. So let's say you decided that day to do like 100k or 50 mile, but things are just not going your way. You can drop down to 60k. Of course, you'll have to follow the route for the 60k. And instead of going home with a sad DNF, you go home with your medal and knowing you finished a 60k race. Now, if you're not like super experienced yet and want to get like here into more the ultra running world, I think it's ideal. It's a small race. It's like really community driven. I think there was no one on the trails that I was not chatting with. And James, here, our videographer and producer and my fiance, he was my race support, and he also met people along, like we came back with friends, so it's a really nice atmosphere to be part of. But now the technicals. This was James's first time with my support crew and my first time having a support crew. There's drop back, so don't get scared. Like you can totally do this without a crew. However, if you have somebody coming, it's really easy for them not to track you because there's no live tracking, and in this place there's not a lot of self-service, so you actually do have to rely in knowing what your times will be, or if you have a Garmin in Reach or something similar, you can check that, but no, the other person might not have service. However, all of the 8 stations are driving accessible except for one where you go twice in most packers, and you'll have to walk like a mile to get to that 8th station. So now time for the course recap. Okay, so most of this applies for the 50 miler, which is the distance that I did. However, as I said, this will be really applicable for the 60k and the 100k. I was actually with 100k racers all the way, and I did run half of the race with a 100k racer, my buddy. Anyway, so the race does start 6 in the morning. You don't need a headlamp for the start, but bring your headlamp, A, because it's mandatory after 4 p.m, and B, because while you're getting ready and your things just set up, it's gonna be dark. Now, the start and finish line are at Paddy's Flats. We didn't camp, we drove the day off. We got there at 5, no problem with parking, and there's 2 outhouses for all your potty needs before the race, so don't be concerned of that. So you'll start the race heading west on Elbow Valley Trail. These are usually mountain biking trails, so it's really nice to run in them. They're rolling hills, like rolling terrains. The view is really nice. Taking that view nothing crazy. Do pace yourself, please. Remember, you're there for long hours. You're heading to your first aid station at kilometer 9, and this will be at the trailhead of Powder Face, which will be your longest climb of the race. Now you made it to Powder Face Trailhead, your first aid station at 9K. Make sure you take your nutrition. You're gonna feel fresh. You should be feeling fresh. You should be feeling good. Make sure you bring nutrition. I was averaging 100 grams of carbs per hour and more because I was grabbing stuff. I had my 100 grams pack with me, and then I was grabbing just the stuff at the aid stations, and James had like a plan of what to give me when. You're gonna start going up for a long time up to the summit of Powder Face, or ridge, however you call it. I guess ridge, that's a better word for it. Take your time, eat all the nutrition, make sure you're pacing yourself. So you'll take Powder Face Ridge Trail all the way to the top. If you're local, or if you have like the chance to come to Calgary to Alberta for more trail runs, I think doing this trail when you're really tired, like if you have done like a really long run on the Saturday, if you want to do like another one like that evening or that Sunday after being really tired, mentally will help you a lot, and I'll go later on why. So you get to the ridge, you're gonna go across the ridge, like taking the views. It's beautiful, like beautiful terrain, taking the views, and then you're gonna start a really fun flowy descent. And when I say fun and flowy, terrible on descents, so it's fun, I mean it's not technical. This is gonna go into your 22K, which is your next aid station. You made it to your second aid station, kilometer 20, just shy of 23. Then again, make sure you're drinking water, and bring more water than you think you need. This will still be early in the day. You should still be feeling good, and they mentioned this in the race. Take more water than you think for that section of the course. I wish I could explain why. I think it starts to be a little bit more exposed, and just it starts to warm up a bit. You do need more water than what you think. So I wish I had an extra flask with me. I didn't, so I really have to portion my water at the end. Take that extra flask. And this is gonna take you up to Fort Knoll. So then again, you're climbing, pace yourself, and you're gonna head to your next aid station at kilometer 38. I got the race amnesia, and before you get to Fort Creek, your aid station number 3, this part of the race between aid station 2 and 3, I think is the most beautiful one. Like you'll be running along wildflowers, like beautiful crazy views of the mountains, like so green, like you're crossing some creeks, crossing some rivers, like just beautiful, like please take in the views. So now you actually made it to its station 3, Fort Creek, and mentally you can check that. A, you already ran 38K, good for you, that's almost a marathon. And B, after that, you're sort of already coming back. And I'll get more into that later. Here is my little trail runner. My sweet little one. At Fort Creek, after the aid station, this aid station is also really easy for your crew to get there. Like they can park right there. As you leave this aid station, there's a creek crossing, so if you want to wet whatever you're wearing, do that. Don't worry, there's not a lot of water after that, so even if your shoes get wet, you'll be fine. Now you'll start heading your way back to Powder Face through the connector. So you start heading up more, but now to Powder Face Saddle. This also starts to be a more normal time of the day, so you'll see some mountain bikers and hikers going back to the Powder Face Saddle. So it's really nice. They'll probably think you're insane, they'll encourage you. Some people will just look at you really confused, but it's always nice to see other people as you're out there and have been going for so long. So once you make it to the saddle, you start coming back to the ridge and back to the same trail you went up. Mentally, this is really runnable. That trail is not technical, it's really runnable, you're way down, just make sure you're not killing your quads. And yeah, just enjoy downhill. So congrats, you just ran 47K and you're back at aid station 4, which is Powder Face again. That's what I said mentally. The previous aid station was last one before you start coming down. Now you're just going back to where you start, and that's easy, you can totally do that. After Powder Face, aid station 4, you're gonna head out again on Elbow Valley Trail. This part of the course was not really clear where the flags were. And yes, you had been here, but you also have been running for 6, 7, 8 hours more, whatever. So you want to go up. You see the road, you have to go left, you want to go up. Don't go next to the road, don't go to that mid trail, you want to go up. You start going up a little bit, few meters, 100, 200, and you'll start seeing flags. I say that because it's a part of the race where I was like, I just came this way, but I don't see anyone. So I just had to wait for somebody to come, and both of us like make sure that we were going the right way. So yes, just make sure about that. You're going back again, you're in the trees. So you don't really have to worry too much about the heat in this portion. It's not too exposed. I would say if it's a hot day for you on your race, definitely the other part, like Powder Face, is a lot more exposed. Here you're in the trees for a while until you make it to Moose Mountain, so it's really nice. The terrain is pretty runnable. It's third road, single track for most of it, and you'll start heading to Moose Mountain. If you are familiar with Moose Mountain, you'll see the road, you'll see all the trucks coming up with all their bikes. Don't worry, you don't head that way, because running that way will know it sucks. You're just eating dirt the entire time. You go through the backside, which is really pretty. Do make sure again that you look to your side. You'll be like in kilometer 50-ish, heading to your aid station that it's at kilometer 62-ish, I want to say. The views are really nice. Take the views of the valley. This is really nice. The fun part before you make it to Moose Packers, which will be your aid station 5 and 6, is the descent is pretty gnarly, actually. I was like, when I saw it. Now, this is the aid station that your crew, they'll have to hike a little bit around a mile, so a little bit over a K, less than a mile, like a little bit over a K to make it there, but they can stay there for aid station 5 and 6. And what you're doing, if you're doing the 50 miler, pay attention here. I hope they change and they get some feedback for next time. As of last year, so 2025, the 50 miler doesn't go to the top of Moose Mountain. There is a turnaround. This year it was not as obvious as you would think it was. So you are actually just getting 3K down. Once you hit 3K from whenever you left the aid station, check, because there should be something different that tells you to turn around. If you're doing the 100K, you have to keep going to the top of Moose Mountain and then come back. James, who thinks that I get lost because I want to, is telling me that, oh, they tell you to go to the trail line. Okay, I'll tell you what happened, and this is no shame. Like, this race is amazing. It's just the flagging there was really weird. So I kept going. I knew I didn't have to go to the top. There's like pink flags, and what they say is like 50 miler, you're following the pink flags all the way. And I was like, great. So I make it in, I'm still in the tree line, and I see like a turnaround, but it's not a turnaround. It's just like, now that and I'm only saying this because I saw it on the way back, but there's like 3 flags. Then after those 3 flags, you keep going up on the tree line, and there's more pink flags. I was like, oh, I have to follow all the pink flags, so it must be like further down, right? No, turns out those pink flags now were part of the 100K course, so I ended up going a little bit longer. I just had to say this because James, you know, he thinks that I love to make up things. Okay, so you go 3K in, 3K back for 50 milers. Make sure that there's like either a bag with some bracelets, or there's like a stamp that you have to get on your bib to prove that you actually went that way. And now you're heading back to the same station at Moose Packers for the 50 milers. This is your last aid station, and if you have pacers joining you, this is where they get to join you. For the 100K, you have an extra aid station. And now I think I gave it away where things started going poorly for me. So this, you technically, and by the GPX file they'll send you, you have 14K left to the finish line. And it's a trail race, so this happens. I do acknowledge that was my mistake, that I was putting my focus and my mental strength at the last portion, or something that it's outside my control, being how much left I have to run. You actually have 19K left, unless they change the course again. So you'll find out when you'll find out. Now you're gonna come into a beautiful, buttery downhill. You can make so much time here. Enjoy the ride. Don't be an Andrea. I was freaking upset. I was questioning everything, all my life choices, and I forgot my nutrition. So I was like, what's going now? Anyways, you're just there, cruising in this single track, flowy, buttery downhill. Not a worry in the world. It's beautiful. So have fun there. So you're gonna take Ridgeback to the wake back to Patties. I do advise you that if you start seeing the maps at intersections, don't look at those, because the race director has something evil planned for you, and you're not going that way. So just take Ridgeback, just go with the flow. You're making your way back to Patties. You'll see the turnaround for the 100Ks at 75K. I cried when I saw that. I was like, I have to be close. Like, this is happening. I have to be close. So you keep going. And now as you get closer to the road, as you get closer to the trailheads and campgrounds, now you're in a wider road. You'll make some gravel with some wider road. You'll see cows. There's plenty of cows. You'll keep going, and I'm sorry to tell you, you're gonna go up again. So you'll have a little bit less than 2K that you run along the highway, but on a gravel road that's far from it. You're actually never close to the highway. You'll keep doing trails, you'll keep going up, and things will just not make a lot of sense. That's okay. That's okay. You're heading the right direction. You're just going there the long way. You'll start coming down just at the end, and you'll see a flat open field. That's where you're not gonna cross the highway. The time I went through there, it was not dark, but there were not volunteers there, so just please be aware that some people driving can be jerks. Look both sides of the road, run, and you are back, like you are almost there. Now the finish line. As soon as you cross up road, it's like 800 meters, which you ran this morning, or you ran that morning, but in your mind, it's gonna feel so much longer. And when I say 800, it's a lot, maybe like 600. So you're just heading straight on the gravel road to the finish line. You'll see the signs. There was a little of my thing, what I would say there was a car leaving as I was coming, so I was eating dirt. But that's okay, like people are cheering, you see the arch, like nothing else matters, and you cross the arch into victory, and you get yourself one of these. So that was a 50 miler. Overall, I think it's an amazing course. It's so beautiful. So if I would have to list like pros and cons of this race, pros, definitely the terrain. You get a little bit of everything. Second, weather. Early August in Alberta tends to be really nice. You're unlikely gonna be dealing with extreme heat from all of it. Third one, it's a community event. It has like that small race feeling to it, and it's just so nice. Cons, I don't even think I can list 3 cons for it. Maybe 2. The first one, there's no live tracking. So people who are following you, either they're at the event or they're at home, they do have to rely on just them getting the actual like paper updates and posting on the system, which will be delayed on race day. So that happens. If people are following you around, they just actually have to be there all day. So kudos for James, who was just there all day waiting for me. I think I was pretty on track with my time. I did not budget for the extra kilometers, so yeah, it was longer than I thought, but I think I was pretty on track for most of the 8 stations, so kudos for both of us, I guess. And the other one, yes, the flagging. I've done races where it's impossible to get lost, and I acknowledge this is a trail race and you should be comfortable with knowing trails and going. However, I'm always like, this should be obvious. This is not Berkeley Marathons. I'm not trying to figure this out. This is not orienteering. Just tell me where to go. So the flagging this year, I've heard after speaking to some people that the previous years was not super obvious. So just make sure you really know the course. And if you have it downloaded, trust that. Well, then that's how I run my first 50 miler. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe. Now we are officially going back to, I think it's gonna be all skiing. We'll have some running adventures in the fall, of course. But this was my last race of the running season. And if you have any questions, like, don't hesitate to reach out. And if you're looking for any running friends around the Rockies, please do reach out.
This is the last time you see me doing good.